So how do we make the pack down a bit easier? How do we make the setup a bit easier? But it's just.
But also, if we're gonna make a Mark II that we want to be better, then it totally makes sense for us to add these things on. Why wouldn't we?
I've seen it for donkey's years, all the development that we do, and it does nothing but leave me sort of open-mouthed.
And I'd rather have nobody in my swim, nobody, me, that's my moment.
No, because that was a completely shit outfit.
Together, and it looks like it's a bastardised contraption.
Yeah.
But it's the idea, and he's gone, do you think this will work?
I get the end user's frustration. Think how frustrating it is for us.
Yeah.
We've been working on it for 2, 3, 4 years.
What he's saying is he's a pussy.
I knew that was coming. I don't.
Fucking hell, it's 2:30. We can't be hanging around an hour on this.
What's up, mate?
No, let's
Got a
go.
long journey home.
Yeah, I have got a long journey home, and I don't want to be in
My heart
traffic.
bleeds for you once a week.
Yeah.
Right.
Moans about.
Stop delaying us with having your phone out, doing your email.
Whiny
We're not
little
actually
bitch.
be able
Once
to
a
get
month,
started.
you probably beat me to death with
You
a
fucking whiny little bitch. What's up with you?
So before we start going off onto different topics, I want to welcome you all back to the All-Ways Carp Fishing Podcast. Once again, I am joined by Mr. Ian Chilcott, Scotty Day, Lewis Porter and Harry Charrington. As I'm sure you've seen by now, we have had one of our biggest launches of the year, really exciting and cool products. And in this podcast, I'm going to be putting to the guys one of their favourite standout products of the biggest launch. And I'm going to come straight over to Scotty Day first, because he is the mastermind behind most products that come out of the Fox stable. So Scott, do you want to talk us through some of your favourites that are on the way, or the favourite of yours?
Nope. No, of course. I wouldn't say I'm the mastermind. I just make things happen. We have a dedicated team of CAD engineers and designers, and we take feedback from the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Harry gets more and more involved these days as well.
To be fair, every time I walk into the office, I always see like a congregation of yourself and Lewis and Harry and Sean picking up samples and, you know what I mean, going through it and proper brainstorming and stuff. So it is a proper team effort.
Yeah, it's definitely a team. It's a team effort. It sounds a bit like a cliche, but it's definitely the case. But also feedback from the product, feedback from people, comments that we read. All that gets taken into consideration. Some of it's commercially viable, some of it's not. But yeah, the Frontier 2s. Where do we start with that? Well, we could start with the original Frontiers. How old are they now? 7 years?
Is it 7 years?
It's amazing that they have been 7
That
years.
is. I know.
I can't believe it. Can't be 7 years.
It was
really.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was before COVID that they...
Just before
That is
COVID.
amazing.
Yeah.
So
I remember getting
6 years, 2019.
5 years, yeah.
2019 we launched them, but we would have been working on them 2017, 2018.
Yeah. So, we got so far through the development of the first ones, and it was a case like, this is just exaggerating or explaining how some of the Frontier 2 has developed. We got, virtually all the way through the development of the original ones, and you never stop trying to think of how to make it better. However, at some point you have to draw a line and go, we need to launch this product now, because if we don't, we're going to spend another 6 months making it better. Then by the time we finish that, we'll have another idea and we'll make it better again, and you'll never bring a product to market.
Yeah.
So at some point you have to draw a line in where is, right, this is it, it's a great product, we're there now, let's launch. But as we got to that stage, it was like, I was playing around with the elbows. I was like, we should just do them hinge like on the easy domes. Was it easy? Yeah, on the
Easy domes where we had the
and then it was like, yes, that would make it easier. It would eliminate the twist, although we'd already keyed the elbows to prevent twist, but it would eliminate twist on setup. But anyway, so, I was like, no, what we'll do, we'll park that idea. We'll eventually.
We were
bring that
ready
out
to
in the
go
next one.
when you got to that point.
Yeah, we were ready to go when we got to that point. And it was like, well, we can't start now. We have to bring the product to market. So we launched them. They've been great. and then inevitably you think of other things that you can do to improve them.
Yeah.
Within the first 9 months of one, I'd got one with a zipping ground sheet, a sample. So I've been playing around with a zipping ground sheet for ages. Then we had a couple of people who were struggling with pack downs and things like that. So how do we make the pack down a bit easier? How do we make the setup a bit easier? How do we make the block work better? So we parked a few of the early ideas, and then probably 2 years ago, 18 months ago, maybe something like that. I can't remember now. It's hard to differentiate when you actually start on something officially.
Yeah.
We started working on moving on quickly. So we say, what are the issues? What can we make better? How do we make that block better? So one of the ways on the block was where you pull the main legs through, and then naturally the fabric wants to fight back and pull against.
And you've almost got to hold it there, haven't you? Yeah.
So we geared that. So it's hard to see, but if you look into the block, you can see there's some teeth. They're geared. So they're geared, so as you pull them forward, they click in as well, and that stops them from pulling back. So whilst they're trying to fight,
they get past a certain point, and then they're fixed in.
And then
in place.
then it just makes it that little bit easier for setting up.
Yeah.
So they click, they won't go back on themselves, and then you rotate the
Left, right, and
very
click.
front ones, and then click the centre one in.
And it really does make on those bigger ones, especially like the XL.
Yeah.
It really does make it so much easier.
I mean, we had good products. We had a really good. I think what was really good about the Frontier was the usable space inside, with a very wide flat back. Meant that you could get your bed share right to the back. You had limited space. I mean, what's the point in having a bivvy where you put all your stuff behind you? You're forever twisted to get things behind.
Yeah.
So we pushed everything to the back in the originals, so you had all the space at the front, so that you're sitting on your bed chair, and then you've got access to everything from the front. Bits that you don't need can go in the tiny little triangle behind your back or underneath your bed chair. So we wanted to retain that floor space and that internal space, but then it was all about how do we make it better. And it was, let's put the hinges on the elbows, let's improve the block, let's put a little wider door on it. Let's
Oh,
make
the door looks
wider.
great, mate. Yeah.
So obviously when the block itself, the main two front ones that you sort of rotate in, that determines your door width. So we had to redesign the block to ensure that those then terminated wider than the original ones. So we did that. We've used a different fabric. We put the zipping ground sheets. All three sizes now have what we call the advanced vent system. So they've got the internal, they've got the zip up flaps, and then internally you've got the mesh, the mozzie mesh, which you can now zip down. It seems like a silly thing, but it's like literally pull the Velcro, zip it, and it just drops down.
That's it. Because on the previous ones, the inner mesh is zipped up, didn't they? So they all zipped up, so you'd roll them up.
I think so. I can't remember. Yeah.
And on the previous ones, on the standard size Frontier, we only had the vents at the back.
Yes,
but now we put
four,
the vents all the way around.
Yeah. So you got 4 vents all the way around, the advanced vent system. The 2 large ones, the X and the XL, have got the inner domes or the inner mesh shields. Because now what happens is, rather than have a separate inner dome, you can zip out your ground sheet and then put your inner mesh shield in and zip that to the ground sheet.
Yeah,
So
so
you don't
I'm
have
a
to move
massive
anything
fan.
out.
I'm a massive fan of that. I like keeping bugs out. I am one of them. I don't like the little nasties in with me.
But like I say,
Here
What
we
he's
go.
saying is he's a pussy.
I knew that was coming. I don't mind admitting it. I know there's lots of lads out there who'll be the same. Keep the nasties out. I'm happy with that.
well, like I say, I don't know, 6-9 months after the first ones came out, I had a sample with a zipping ground sheet, and I've just found it's really so much easier. I think the advantage of having a zipping ground sheet is you don't need an inner dome to zip yourself in. So by putting the inner dome in the inner mesh, you reduce some of your internal space, but you don't have to do that because you're zipping in the ground sheet now.
Yeah.
Still got it for people who like that additional layer inside. It's all good. All the Vapor Pinks are now included in the price.
Yeah,
So-
that's mega, because like the saving that people get with that. So the price of say a standard Frontier, I believe, is the same as what it was.
If it's not the same, it's
Give or
not
take
that
a
much
tenner.
more.
It's not much more, but you get a Vapor Peak in with it as standard, which in the past was 130 quid extra, something like that.
No, like 69, 79, 89,
Oh,
something
okay.
like that. But still,
I've
70,
overdone
89.
that. But yeah, it's a considerable amount.
Yeah.
Like I'd like to think that people will really appreciate that, because if you're going to buy the Bivvy, it's like almost completing the product.
Yeah, I think when
having
you walk around a bank and see them up, same with products similar by other companies, nearly
Vast
all of them
majority,
have got the tops on.
Of course they have. And
It
it
just makes
eliminates
sense.
that condensation as well. And it reduces that vastly.
And then now we've got deluxe wraps for all three sizes. People are always saying, "Oh, you want to bring a winter wrap out?" That kind of thing. When you actually look at sales of that, they don't actually warrant doing them, but people want them.
Yeah, they do.
So we've managed to try and negotiate lower MOQs because the project overall is a significant project. So we've worked with the supplier to say, right, let's just make so many of these. So we will get deluxe wraps for each size that weren't available before, so people can have them now. It is an extending wrap. It's got an extra 60 centimetres on the front. It is a wrap without a front, because you might just want the twin skin over the top of it, all around it, and then the extra peak on the front. If you want, you can move the front of the bivvy onto the front of the wrap, and therefore extend your space. And then the extensions, which were sort of vapor peaks with the extension on the front, great, because you've got the dual layer over your head, you've got all that extra space at the front. But what you didn't have, if you use them in the winter, was the dual layer at the back of the bivvy. So now those extensions are virtually complete wraps over the back with the extension on the front. So now you can use the extension in the winter. You've got the twin skin all the way around the back of the bivvy as well. So I think overall we've made the three size products good products. We've made them quicker and easier to put up with beneficial features throughout as well.
I think,
and right from the beginning, they're available in green and camo.
That's a new camo as well,
and
isn't it?
with all,
New camo.
that's what I was just about to say. One of the things that I think was really key for us from the start of talking about redoing them, but also is a real big benefit to everyone who's going to want to upgrade their bivvy to get one of these, is that we're doing them in both colours from the off, so that it's total transparency in that. There's not going to be another colour coming down the line, unless all of a sudden there's like a big call for pink ones, but you know, I don't. And also, pretty much every optional extra that we can think of
Is there from the off.
is there from the off. It's not going to be coming further down the line.
There was one question a friend of mine asked, which was, will there be a Frontier 2 Light in
No.
the future? Because there's no Frontier 2 Light, and we did the original Frontier Light.
No, because what we tried to do with the Frontier Light, that tried to be a better price alternative for similar kind of product. And what we've done there, we've got the new EOS Pro bivvies. So they're in that price point, and the Frontiers are our top end. They're our top end product using Ventec 20,000. I just had to get all the rest of it.
And those EOS Pros are lightweight.
Yes.
And
Yeah. So that'll sort of take that market.
cool. Question answered.
Can I ask you a question?
No,
That's really
of course you
disappointing.
can.
What? I don't speak the Egyptian language that you obviously do here, because I don't understand a lot of it. What's an MOQ?
Oh, sorry. A minimum order quantity.
Ah,
Yeah.
That's
See,
a
I-
really good question.
Yeah,
because that is
abbreviations
gobbledygook
all
to
the
a lot
time
of
that
people.
people haven't got a clue, and then sorry, you're right. So
It's not a big thing up here.
that's the difficult thing when we're doing products, is people scream at us for certain things, but that might be a very small portion of the angling community, and they really want that because it's suitable for them. But we as a business have to work out whether that's commercially viable.
I mean,
And that's the difficult thing.
I've seen it for donkey's years, all the development that we do, and it does nothing but leave me sort of open-mouthed, the work that you do here. I mean, I leave feeling a bit sort of, I shouldn't be talking to these people, they're quite immense, but...
We're just normal guys, Chili.
I don't say MOQ, though. I'm not an MOQ kind of guy, you know what I mean?
Quicker than minimum
yeah, okay, you're saving time.
You used to say MOD back in the day, didn't you?
Ministry of Defence.
No, because that was a completely shit outfit, to be honest with you. They
used to call them something totally different.
They didn't do a lot of good for a lot of people, to be honest with you. Unless we were there on the ground doing it for them. Bless them.
So how long is that? So in terms of you thinking, right, we're going to do the Frontier 2, what timescale has that been? From the day you said, right, we're doing a Frontier 2 to this point, what's that timescale been?
On this one, probably about 18 months.
It's actually shorter than what you'd think,
Yeah.
but that because we've already developed the product.
Yeah.
We're
You have the
taking the
basics
current
there.
size, we're taking the current dimensions. The reason why it's taken 18 months, some of the ideas, like I say, had a zipping ground sheet for ages. We wanted to do the hinged knuckles, elbows, whatever you call them, for right before.
Is a lot of that feedback from the public then?
Well, some of it is.
Yeah.
Some of it, like the wider door,
Yeah.
things like that. The wraps for every size, that kind of thing.
I think that just goes to show that things that people say, it can be added to at times.
I think there's definitely going to be an element of people go, oh, you've put the hinge joints on because Avid have done them and other people have done them.
It's a natural progression that existed in BIVVIES similar before this.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, those elbow joints were on the Easy Dome, and you had already had the idea and brought the product was out, had just been brought out to market.
But it's just
but also, if we're gonna make a Mark II that we want to be better, then it totally makes sense for us to add these things on. Why wouldn't we?
The nice little touches, though,
the ergonomic.
I can say to Adam and his team, we want a hinge on the knuckle. I'll call them knuckles, wells, whatever you want to do. And then they'll, what's difficult about it is pulling them apart. So they put it's ergonomic. You've got the grips for fingers in one side. You've got the little trigger bit on the other, on the top end. So it just makes pulling them apart easier. We invest in mouldings that we design ourselves. So let's make them to be comfortable in the hand, to work better, to be just a better...
You keep talking about the guys downstairs, and it does. I mean, I wish people could see what goes on. I've done it a few times, and gone round and watched them working on things. There'll be somebody's trying to work on a reel, or somebody's sort of doing some other terminal tackle stuff. And the amount of work that goes into it from those guys is, wow. It's just so over the top. It's amazing.
They're massively, massively unsung, and it's we will come up to them with problems, and they're the ones who go who 9 times out of 10 are the ones who are going to solve it.
Yeah, good people.
Literally, just that, in between. Obviously, we filmed 2 podcasts today. In between this one and the last one, Sean's taken me and Dylan aside because we both do a type of angling that suits this product idea that he's got, and he's come up with this product, and it's all
developing flies for salmon fishing now.
I wish. No, and it's and he sort of put this thing together, and it looks like it's a bastardized contraption.
Yeah.
But it's the idea, and he's gone, do you think this will work? And we've sort of gone, yeah. But also, if you add this extra thing, it will make. And he's gone, that's cool. But as he's put it together, it's not a product that we can sell, and then that's where we go, right, guys, make this actually work.
Yeah.
Make it look pretty, and that's where.
And there's the
that's
very
where
reason
the real
that you
gold
need some
happens.
quality carp anglers on the ground like yourselves doing all that work, and that's why it's such a good system, I think. amazing.
Yeah.
Takes
But
my
to
breath
answer your
away.
question in terms of timing, 18 months, because you've got
A base.
to create the drawings. The guys have got to create. They've
in
got to mould it.
reality,
They've got to do the tools. You know,
In reality, it's longer, isn't it? Because
it's
it
significantly
started
longer.
with the original one. So
Yeah.
you're talking in total 8 years now from the original concept of a Frontier through to the Frontier 2 now, aren't you?
yeah,
Yeah,
something like
That whole it's 8 years from that first sketch on a piece of paper to what you are now going to be able to get in shops in the next few months.
I'm pretty sure. I'm sure when we first brought it out, I did the voiceover on the product video, and I think my opening line was something along the lines of,
4 years or
it was 4 or 5, potentially
five,
5 years in the development, because we were in Hainault.
Yes.
We were in Hainault when we started working on that.
Yeah.
So I think it was quite a long time. The thing is, we're working on so many products at the same time, and things get moved up and down the priority list.
That's where my
you know,
head
it was
blows.
it was really only 18 months ago was it were we like, right, now is the time that we need to push the button on getting the development of this next one along, like further along the line. Like say, Scott had loads of ideas ready to go.
Yeah.
But it's all about timings, where the product sits in the market, etc. You know, for a long time it would have been, I guess, more or less market leading. But then other things come that we can.
We probably could have
do
done it
better
2
than.
years after the first one. But what's the point in bringing the product 2 years after the first one?
You're only going to annoy people.
Yeah, you're only going to annoy
Yeah,
people.
of
But
course.
also, the little bit of time after meant we did other things. We made other improvements.
Yeah.
It's time. You know, like I said before, you can keep developing a product, and you keep going. You keep having more ideas, or new technologies will become available, new fabrics will become available, and you've got to draw a line at some point where you say, that's a great product, let's bring it to market. Yes, all right, we could do this and this in the future. Let's park that idea and crack on. Because, like Harry says, we're working on hundreds of products.
Yeah.
People will quite often come and go, 4 years for that, mate, what you been doing? We often get all the trolley comments and that. Well, because in those 4 years, we've been doing another 500 products for Fox every year. And the
Yeah,
guys are
of
working
course.
on probably a similar amount in Rage, a few hundred in Matrix. And, you know, the volume of SKUs that we turn over in a year is
It's thousands, isn't it?
astonishing.
Thousands of products. Yeah.
You know, so it doesn't take 4 years solely to make a new bivvy, but it takes collectively 4 years with ideas, with with prototypes, with changes. You know, we've got. When we are no, so it won't come out yet.
Don't give it away.
I'm just thinking, we've got a product that we're going to bring out that we've actually scrapped 2 tools, and then we become the 3rd tool. It's a small, intricate product that we quite often do rapid prototypes of.
Yeah.
But a rapid prototype can give you an idea on its workings, its size, and its dimensions and everything. But you can't actually get a produced product that's available.
Might just be worth
bring to-
explaining what a rapid prototype is.
Well, it's a. We've got 3D printers.
3D print. Yeah, I think
So
so.
we
The
print a
audience
lot
will
of-
understand more from the
Yeah.
3D printed.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm
So
going off on
in-house,
that thing,
we've
yeah.
got printers that the design
Yeah.
guys can draw up something, send the data to the printers, and then it squirts
Few
out a bit of
hours
liquid
later,
plastic,
yeah,
and we've got.
Unreal, isn't
got
it?
a part. Years
I'm
and
out of
years
breath,
ago,
Dean.
It's mad,
years
isn't
and
it?
years
It
ago, there'd
shocks
be
me.
2D
I-
drawings, 3D drawings that you'd see on screen,
I
but
see
the
a
reality is the reality of data and a physical product is quite different at times.
Yeah, of course.
So you can't, unless you've got that physical product, you can't 100% be sure that that the tooling and the molds are going to be correct. So anyway, that product, we've scrapped 2 tools and we're now on the 3rd tool, because what we've done where we thought it was right, that's brilliant. We get it, we use it, we work it. Actually, it's doing something we never thought it was going to do.
You fix one problem and create another.
Yeah. So, we could say that product's been in development for 2.5, 3 years or whatever. But we've been doing other stuff in the meantime. There's testing times and periods in there as well. So that's part of the development time. You've got to test it.
And this is what people don't see. It's the headaches and the head bakes that you have to go through to get to that end product to go, it's now ready for the market.
With the particular product that Scott's talking about, like it's a end tackle product, and numerous times we've had it, all the data's been sent off to the people who actually make it. It then takes 6 weeks for the product to come. We get it, we have a look at it in the office, we set it up in the office. Oh, bloody hell, this is really, really good. And then you take it out, you fish with it. First time you fish with it, yeah, this is really, really good. Fish with it for a couple of weeks and problems start to occur. And it's like, we were like, you think we were so close, but now we've got to not totally start again, but redo the tool and go through the whole process again.
It's like one of the most common questions that we've had about this launch and the last however many launches we've done is, where's the illuminated bobbins? Where's the illuminated bobbins? And they're still not here. But you can't rush that. Like, you need to know how that's going to perform in the winter, in the coldest temperatures, in the summer, in the hottest temperatures. You can't replicate that in a laboratory environment. The only way of making sure that product is going to stand the test of time 365 days of the year is by getting it out there and using it on the bank. So to the end user who's seen it on videos or whatever, it looks like it's finished because it illuminates every time somebody gets a bite. It looks like the finished product. It still has to be tested. And something that you don't see happening can go wrong 6 months down the line because a piece of the wire or whatever is in certain temperatures going to become brittle. So then you have to evolve and change and modify it, and it's now like 90-something% there, but it's them final few percent that we what would the audience prefer who are getting annoyed that it's not come out yet? Do you want us to put it out there so you've got it illuminating, and then after 9 months it stops working on you because we didn't get it to where we think it's 100%, or just have that little bit of patience because the juice will be worth the squeeze when it comes, and like all things in life, it's worth the wait.
Yeah, I find it worth it. I mean, because I've been involved in quite a few things that have evolved. I think the RX alarms are one of the best ones I got involved with, and there were real problems to begin with, but it's just to find out that the basics are right. And I took 2 of them away and I put them out in my back garden with a bit of lime through them, and every day I'd decide how many bites I had to deal with, which weren't many in my world, and but you'd have a bite or 2 every day, and in all the conditions, never put the cover on, never switched them off. And then I came up with a couple of things in the spring. I was fishing the lake in Essex. Sean came down with 4 different concepts of the alarm, and we looked at it on the bank and running line through and taking notes and doing everything. And to me it was like a fantastic journey. And I've got them now, and I've never, they're the same ones, like the first ones I ever got, and they'll be probably the last ones I'll ever
Just
have.
For those people, any idea when the illuminated bobbins are? Scott?
Every time I get asked that.
They have been ordered now.
They are now in order.
So that's the most significant step.
I don't even know if I should say. Well, look.
They're on the way.
Give a pessimistic time.
They've been ordered.
Frame.
They're going to be start to be produced. Then they have to be shipped. What you don't see is has a problem occurred during production, and we're not going to know that until they do a big production run, and then supplier might go, "Whoa, we've got a problem."
We've hit a snag.
And so we've done runs. The tools have been run. Changes have been made. Everything's been to this point to give us a product that we could say, go out and test that. That bit failed. How's that bit getting on now? Right, sound. Good. Okay, brilliant. We get to a point where, right, I'm ordering it. Place the order. But then the factory's going to be running the tool 25, 30,000 times rather than just a couple of hundred. So you don't foresee that problem until you get into it. So they've been ordered. They're being produced, or parts of them are being produced now. And so with shipping and all the rest of it, and Christmas and Chinese New Year and all the rest of that, we should be looking at a spring product
if all goes well.
Now I know it's September. You got October, November, December, January, February, March. 6 months away. But the reality at the moment is you are looking at about, from product leaving the Far East to it arriving in our distribution centre in Belgium, for it coming through customs, for it working its way into the system and being on the shelf ready to be picked, you're looking at about 3 months. So it is 6 months away. 3 months of that is transit time and travelling. And if something happens along the way, that throws it out another week or a month.
Yeah, you could get a Suez Canal situation, and that you just don't know.
These are all the headaches that people don't get to see, and I know it's frustrating when you're an end user wanting that product, but this is the realisation of products, isn't it?
I get the end user's frustration. Think how frustrating it is for us.
Yeah.
We've been working on it for 2, 3, 4 years. We want the product to come to market. We want them out there. We want people using them and buying them and whatever. And we're just like, it's so hard to. That's why we struggle to give dates, and that's why things slip. Yeah. Because we're under pressure to give a date because people want to know when it is, but then something might happen. Only a couple of months ago, you were looking at ships sitting out the port of Antwerp for up to 3 to 4 weeks. Problems
just
and delays.
There, not even
so you track a vessel and it's on its way. We'll have this in 2 weeks' time. It's nearly there, in, week, through, warehouse sorted. We'll have it in 2 weeks. Gets there, it's literally a mile offshore or whatever, and then it sits there for 3 to 4 weeks. You can't comprehend that. It just doesn't.
I think that's just something you should have covered, actually, because I think it is good, genuine knowledge that make people understand the system a little better. Because I mean, I didn't know a lot of that. Well, I know it takes a long time to get stuff in a boat from China, but all the rest of it is dragged out.
Why don't you make it in Europe? Or cheap Chinese crap. Let's look. Let's be honest. Probably 90% of what we're sitting around, seeing amongst us is made in the Far East. Yeah. Why? Labour costs allow us to make it at a price point to get it over. If we were to do it in Europe, it'd be more expensive. You haven't got as longer transit times. But the reality of it is as well, that skill set doesn't exist in Europe like it used to. Because manufacturing's been happening in the Far East for so long that they've got the skill set now, because no one has done it in Europe for so long. Some of it, don't get me wrong, some of it does, and there's plenty of manufacturing in Europe, but 90% of all the stuff that we as anglers use and all the other companies is coming from the Far East, and it's not cheap Chinese crap that people say. There is cheap Chinese
there's plenty
crap.
of it.
Yeah. There's plenty of it.
You can find plenty of that on Temu and places like that if you want to go looking for it, but
is that a high quality product?
Never mind that, right? The people who slag it off, right, buying stuff from the Far East, they're happy when they're driving their car to rely on those cheap Far Eastern brakes to work and save their life. Now, if I'm happy to trust the Far East to make the brakes on my car that's going to save my life every time I get to a T-junction, I think I can trust them to make me a bobbin or something like life or death.
That's it.
So,
iPhones, technology.
Cheap Chinese crap. Or top end quality.
Top end, best quality you can buy.
Made in the Far East.
Yeah,
but
there you
go. Down the road from products that we make.
Yeah.
Down the road from products that every other manufacturer in the industry make.
Enough about future launches. I'm sorry for hijacking with the Bobbins. We should be talking about the
this
stuff
launch.
that's been
But excited
so
much. So
I think that was really necessary for you, though, Louis.
Yeah, no, it's good to know. So
I see
people
the steam
understand.
coming out your ears.
So, Lou, I'm going to come to you now, mate. The latest launch, which one has sort of stood out for you, or one that you sort of think, I'm getting more myself,
obviously,
one of them?
To try and give as many of the products a bit of airtime as possible, we're not going to just all agree with each other and say the same product. My standout would be the new Frontiers, because they are a thing of beauty and a genuine step forward in terms of shelter design, and as that's the thing that you live in when you're on the bank, you want it to be nice, like you do your house at home. So for me, the next best thing on that launch for my own fishing would be the X6 TI short rods, the 8 to 10 footers, the little telescopics. I love a little bit of small water fishing. It's for me being lazy. Quicker to walk round, quicker to find the fish, within casting range, within signal range of a bait boat controller in certain circumstances, whatever that might be.
Why do I have to listen?
They're
to
beautiful
this?
rods. Mozza had a set when I was out with him, and he said that he loved them.
Yeah, I mean, they are just, in terms of a short telescopic butt rod, they are as nice as your money's going to get, and the 3 1/4 for me suits me perfectly. That we try so hard to catch the fish. Enjoying playing them for me is a big part of it. Like, yes, there's obviously, if you know it's the target fish, you just want to get it in the net as quickly as possible, right? But realistically, what percentage of fish do we catch in a year that's the target fish? I mean, that's like, unless you're literally fishing for one bite a year, generally you're catching more fish that are making up the numbers along the way to get into the target. So when you know that you're not attached to that one, enjoying playing the fish, that's a big part of it. Why do you want to just bundle it in the net straight away? Like, savor that moment. You don't know when your next one's coming. So, I love the fight. Don't do back winding. I know some people do. That's a topic for another day. That is a topic for another day. I'm not a fan of the back wind. I like the clutch.
I'll agree with you on that.
I love that on the clutch. When they, that buzz, and having like a 10,000 sized reel with one of those 8 to 10 foot rods. I tend to use it in the 10 foot size, because when you've got the sort of lakes I fish tend to have iris beds and reed beds on the margin, so you want that little bit of extra to be able to go left and right. When I'm doing my stalky stuff under some bushes and what have you, I'll have it set on the 8 foot for dropping in close and getting the initial bite. And sometimes you might have to keep it on the 8 foot because you've got trees above you for playing. But most of the fishing I'm doing is with it at the 10 foot. But it's fantastic to have that option.
Yeah.
When I was at Westmore earlier on this year, I had a nice spot under a tree, stalking spot. So I was on the 8 foot section for getting the rig in, getting the bite, the initial part of the fight, because the trees are above my head. I'm in the 8 foot, but then it's kited down my margin, and all of a sudden I'm like, shit, I need some extra length.
Don't we all?
Yeah, a lot of guys
Don't
listening
get
to this
personal.
will, with the beauty of that rod, got my hand on it and just extended in my
This is going downhill rapidly.
extra 2 foot of length in no time at all, and gave me the purchase to be able to turn the fish, get it in the net.
How did you find the fish? I mean, some
Hang
people
on, Dean,
think...
let me finish the story.
Oh, sorry.
It was £46, Dean. Come on.
didn't get to the money shot.
And
As you
in the
were.
net there was a £46, thanks to being able to be versatile. And normal fishing rods, you haven't got that ability to, without having to break the rod down or anything.
You
to
see
go
it a
from
lot
8
of
foot
times.
to 10
I've
foot.
passed the rod down your hands, don't you? You see
almost like fly
the reels
fishing, pulling
downhill,
them.
and you can't get
Yeah.
to it. Yeah, I've done that.
Yeah, so for me,
Mine will arrive actually when we stop selling them in the shops. So everybody stop buying them, so I can have a set.
Do you prefer them over a 12-foot rod? Is that if you had to?
if you could pick, I can't think I've ever spoke to anybody who's had 10-foot rods who would go back to using 12s by choice if you could always fish with 10s. Like they're such
Right.
a
Yeah,
10
I've
foot
noticed
is
that people that have bought them.
such a nice rod to play fish on, but there's limitations. If you're fishing at really long range over loads of weeds, you want 12 or 13-foot rods to get that extra purchase to be able to bring fish up and over weed beds and stuff like that. So again, you can't, if you fish one venue, you might be able to get away with one set of rods, but generally, like if you fish a range of venues, you're going to need, 2 sets of rods, maybe 3 sets of rods. If you're doing real extreme range casting as well, you might need 13-foot 4-pounders. They're tools to do a job, aren't they? And if in golf, one club ain't going to get you around an 18-hole golf course, is it? You're going to need different tools for different jobs. And like I say, the beauty with those 8 to 10-foot new TIs is that They are allowing you to have a driver and a putter in one almost.
Yeah.
You know,
It's an interesting conversation, this, Harry, because you've touched on something I hear so rarely, if at all, in carp fishing. I feel the extendable rods are liked by a few people, but they do it. They get them so they can fold them up little, and they're not taking up much room at home, and the missus can't moan at them, I think. But you've talked about playing a fish. You don't hear anything anymore about that. Yeah, I hooked it and it weighed 41 pound. Yeah, I hooked it and it was 37 pound. It's the last thing on the scales. That's all people want to talk about. And I remember back in the day when I first went on the car park lake, which is, I didn't fish it at this time. I was still in the army. I got a guest on there with Jeff Pink, God rest his soul, and people spoke. There was Terry Pefferbridge was on there. There was a few people who were well known back then. They spoke about how the fish fought. It wasn't about how much they weighed. It was how they fought and the madness they had to go through to get it on the bank. And you don't get any of that nowadays. Yeah,
it's the journey, not the destination. Isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
but
part of the story,
we
isn't
feel that way about it. I do. You know, I've got those Mark 3X3s, and man, they bend down to the, and I love it.
If I could pick, the best thing for me in the whole fishing experience is turning the head torch on in the dark to see what's in the net.
Yeah.
If I could play every fish in the dark, but then get my photographs in the daytime because it's nicer to photograph them in the daylight, I would pick that. Every time. Because I don't put my head torch on ever in the dark when I'm playing the fish. It's all sense. You're feeling it, everything, that anticipation. Obviously, if you've got some trouble in the edge or whatever with snags and
put the red
trees,
filter
you've got to
on
put it
and
on
that's
to
what I
see that. But generally, wherever possible, avoid any light.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully there's enough natural light that you can see the wallow, and as it's getting close to the net cord, and it's in the net, and then it's that deep breath. Now what? Boof. And you're looking at, if it's the target, the buzz is out of this world. If it's a real pretty one, if it's one you recognise, you talked about it to your friend, like all of that anticipation build up, and of course there's that time.
If it's one where it's absolutely beating you up, and you turn your head torch on, it's a double figure comment.
You turn the head torch on, it's a pop rib simo that's gammy and everything, you're really disappointed. Or you turn the head torch on and it's a bright orange coin, you're like, oh, why me? It's an ornamental. Whatever that emotion is that you feel, that's yours. And like, I'd rather have nobody in my swim, nobody, me, that's my moment. And then once I've processed what is happened there,
absolutely.
That's when I want my friends to share that that running up to the bivvy, waking them up. I've got whatever. That, like, if it's just about the final thing, just about filling Instagram with a picture or whatever. Oh, where's the soul gone?
That's what. That is what a lot of carp are caught for nowadays.
Dave,
you never read about.
Dave, I've caught the Simo.
The
one with the ribs sticking out of its side.
The orange koi one. Can you turn me a picture?
Do you want a picture? No, I just thought I'd let you know.
I think on those rods as well, with those rods in particular, and I think what makes them so enjoyable, but also absolutely the top tier of retractable rods, because let's face it, there are lots and lots of retractable rods out there, are the guides. So they're the same guides that we've got on the X6TIs, which are the American Tackle Pentalite, titanium guides with Pentalite ceramics. Yeah. Quite simply, they are the best guides that you can have on a carp rod, bar none. I've not seen a better guide.
In my opinion, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to disagree. I was like, hang on. We've used these.
I'm not going to say no. What I mean is, like, everybody might have, their own opinions. But for me, they're light. So the ceramics are really thin, which means they make them even lighter and they're made of titanium. The ceramics are thin and hard. The line feels nice going through the ceramics. They've got the anti-frap angling, so they've got everything you need in a guide to make them as good as. What do you need a guide for? to carry the line through the blank, you need it to be light.
carrying
so
the
that
line going out and coming back, basically.
It's both, and that's.
I think so. Just to sort of continue on my point of why they're so good and why I don't think people pay much attention to guides, especially now there's quite a lot of different ones out there. So firstly, with the shape of them, they're shaped so that you get less frap ups, particularly when you're using quite thick line, fluorocarbon, stuff like that. They do, without a doubt,
that is fact.
Reduce it massively. And I know that from having used those, used the X6s, not the X6, or the X6 TIs, not the retractable ones, but the bigger rods, using those and then swapping for a short period of time to a guide that wasn't that shape and getting all of a sudden being like, where are all these frap ups coming from? And that is the shape of the guide. And then secondly is the fact that they've got a ceramic, which there are a lot of rods out there that people are using. We make them as well because they work. They look really good and they work well, especially on cheap rods because they reduce the price, etc. And they're light. But people have even got them on rods that are supposedly top end guides without a ceramic. And if you do exactly the same thing, like playing a fish with the same line and everything on a rod with a ceramic and a really nice one like a TI, and compare it to a rod without a ceramic with like a Minima guide or those Minima style guides, the difference is significant. But you only realise that when you swap from one to the other, and they're just so much more smooth. And I think people are there's a lot of rods that are getting sold that don't have the ceramics on, and I don't think people consider.
I think Harry's having a bit of a love affair with his rods.
I didn't realise he was going to literally.
I since we made those TIs with those guides, we had the K series guides on quite a number of our top end Horizon rods. Fantastic guides, but they're heavy. And so I used to use those on whichever rod that I got from Fox. It would be with the K series guides, but these ones have just taken that to the next level. They make the rod so much more lighter, so much more responsive.
I want some. Now.
I think with American Tackle have up they've took it on to another level. Fuji for years was the benchmark. You want Fuji guides on rods, but nowadays Fuji's been left in the wake of American Tackle when it comes to cart rods, I would say. I ain't no expert, but when you look at the best custom rods that are being sold on the market and stuff, they're all using American Tackle now.
Yeah.
And the forward facing, the angled guides, they 100% reduce the amount of tangles you get around the butt flaps, foot tangles, whatever. And I can't get my head around why people just wouldn't put them on.
Yeah. This is I think
so much better.
I think what I'd like to is there's a lot of rods out there and a lot of very expensive rods out there, and these are with our RX6 TIs, they're expensive rods. If you're going to buy a set of expensive carp rods, if you've got a good wedge of money to spend on something top end, if you want something custom made, whatever, however you want to do it, don't consider anything other than TI Pentalite guides. There's no point. There is. You will be spending a lot of money on an inferior rod if they don't have those guides on.
The reduced tangles,
in my opinion.
the lighter, in my opinion, they look good. I just think it's one of those things. I think that have just moved on in the last so many years. I almost think they'll become an industry standard in the future. I think all carp rods will come with that forward sloping guide on. It just makes sense to do so.
Yeah,
I think my rod's just extended a bit more. The love that Harry's given. Really up to a 12 foot.
Yeah, they look cool rods. They
you
do
better
look
show
really
some
cool
passion on
rods.
your pick from the product launch. Now you've just absolutely.
Yeah.
Which seamlessly drops
Yeah.
it straight in there.
Yeah, coming over to Harry next with that one.
Well, I'm going to pick a SPOMB product. People may or may not know that I
You do a bit of moonlighting, don't you,
do
Harry?
a bit of moonlighting. So I am
SPOMB
not
tattoo.
only Fox marketing manager, but I'm also SPOMB brand manager. So that's the same job that Scott does with Fox, but with SPOMB, obviously it's not as big a brand with not as many products, so it's not a total full-time thing, but it does take up a fair bit of my time. And one of the products that sort of been working on since starting this role have been the tapered braided shock leaders that I have really tried hard to find other options to make sure that I'm not telling porkies when I say that I'm pretty sure they're the only available on the market.
Tapered braid, I believe.
Taper braid. So what it is it's a 10 metre length of braid, and it tapers quite same way that a tapered mono shock leader was. It tapers from a thick end that takes the shock of your cast down to a thin end, which means that you've got a almost seamless transition into your line. So the knot between your shock leader and your braid that you're using for spodding is tiny. So one, that means that it doesn't catch on the line as it's coming off the spool, which can cause frap ups. It doesn't slow the line down and catch on the guides when it's going through the rings, which also causes frap ups. And that knot, where you're joining two bits of line that are of a similar or almost the same diameter, that's a stronger knot than if you had a thicker diameter going down to a much thinner diameter because of the added sort of strangulation. So there are multiple different reasons as to why I think that they're great. You get three on a spool. They're already the length that they're for me the perfect length, which I think for some people is slightly longer than your average leader. But the reason I like them at 10 metres is that your knot comes off the spool after, if you've got a decent SPOMB rod, we do make multiple decent SPOMB rods. If you're using a decent SPOMB rod, it should recover before the knot comes through, which also reduces frap up. So all of the products that we're trying to bring out that aren't, just purely baiting devices are to try and make spodding and spomming a lot easier and a lot more hassle free. And that's what I think these braided shock leaders will do. I think they'll reduce frap ups. They come in a set length, so you literally just have to tie a loop in one end, so you can loop to loop your spom on, or if you like to tie it on, and then you just do a back-to-back grinner at the other end, at the thin end. Or you can do an Albright knot or a carrot knot, whatever you want to call it. But a back-to-back grinner is absolutely fine.
That'll do.
And it's absolutely perfect. And if you do want to shorten them down, you just cut them down from the thick end. If you cut a couple of meters off, you're still going to have plenty of that thick end to take off to absorb the shock of that cast.
It's hard to imagine how they made that, isn't it? Because it's like a fibre.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's just
So those
just
tiny
woven.
fibres must get thinner
they
individually.
just reduce the number
That's
of fibres
amazing.
in it, but it's really tightly woven.
Right, okay.
So it can't come undone.
I understand now. Yeah. I thought those fibres were.
But this is why it's
thinner.
never been done before, because it's difficult to achieve.
It's technically very difficult.
And we've done it in two colours as well. So we've done it in a red,
That's brilliant.
and we've also done it in a black. The reason we did it in a black was quite simply because I think a lot of people are going to actually want this for fishing on their fishing rods.
Yeah.
And in a black, it will be perfect for
Yeah.
that. So, I hope they're
It's a
going to
bit
be
of
super,
innovation.
super popular.
It's a bit of innovation.
That's it.
It's a bit different. It's wicked. They
And
are
we've
really
got-
I
good.
think it's brilliant. I really do. I want some of that.
Yeah. And
The
we've got
list is
plenty
growing,
more
Charlie.
coming as well.
I might be able to cast a
New
spot a long
rods,
way again. eh?
new braid.
I know.
The list is growing.
It's grown. I'm taking a few notes while I'm here. No, that's good.
What else are you adding to your Christmas list, then, mate? From
My
the product
Christmas
launch?
list will include the 60-inch easy brolly. Now, I was shown this. Was it the last time I was here or the time before that when it was?
Yeah, a few months ago.
Yeah, it'd be a few months ago, and Harry showed me it. It's a 60-inch brolly that is incredibly easy to put up and tear down. Now, some of the reasons I sort of dated that Fox wouldn't want me on board for very long is because I don't use a lot of gear. I want to keep everything to a bare ass minimum. I do not want to make my swim, as was referred to early on, look like my living room. That's the world we're trying to escape from, I think, when we go fishing.
I'm sure the reason that I showed you it was because we had, I think it might have even been a Frontier set up with maybe an extension on or something like that. And you were like, oh my God, look at that. Why would people want to go and take all that? And I said, oh, I've got the product for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's not, I've got a Frontier at home and I've used it. And it's a wonderful bit of kit. But a lot of places that I go, we've spoke about it with other products, it is being mobile. I want to put I am 65 years old. I should really just take me pipe down the lake and whatever, but I can't. When I'm fishing, I don't want to slow down. So if it's peeing down with rain, I don't care. If it's 1 o'clock in the morning, I don't care. If they're over there, then that's where I've got to be. And something like that just shaves the time away from it all. Taking down a big bivvy, and a lot of times, and I don't blame people for doing it. Again, we've talked about day ticket waters that they book into, and they, if you're going to go for a week's fishing, then you might as well be comfortable, aren't you? You'd be an idiot. I did it with the little cut down Evolution bivvies we used to do. I forget what it was called. Oh damn!
Evo Compact.
Yeah, and I took one of those to Rainbow Lake in France with all my normal gear. I took nothing other than the spools of line that were on my reels. Nothing different to what I do in the UK. And I've got a wonderful photograph of me. I stood in a thunderstorm that went on for 24 hours, that little island in front of you, getting smashed with it. And all you can see is the little loops under the bivvy where my pegs are getting pulled out of the ground, and it just peed down the whole time. But it survived, and that's what I want it to be, an adventure. And at that brolly, it is like the essence of fishing, and I just think it makes you feel like you're having an adventure, not a
Dead carp,
holiday.
isn't it, Chili?
I
How low
don't
can you
use
go?
that
Dead
word
carp.
because I've heard it used far too much.
You like being carpy.
I don't like being carpy. I like to be an efficient carper. Okay, well,
So there is a bit of innovation on this.
yeah. Sorry,
Because I
I got
love
into
the original easy. I
Some
absolutely
people
love
might
it.
not know what
I
the
think a
original
lot
was.
of people
It's
don't necessarily
No.
know about it because it's that one of those products that kind of went under the radar because we launched it at a time where we had lots of other quite big,
Yeah.
significant
Yeah, I didn't
products.
really know.
What is the difference in the new one to the original then?
Well, the difference from the new one to the original one is purely the size. The original was a 50-inch. This
50,
one's a
yeah.
60-inch.
And the original was only done simply because we wanted a very lightweight, quick day shower.
Yeah.
That's why it was only a 50-inch.
Yeah.
So we just brought it as an easy brolly.
It's a fantastic. I love the quick storm sticks
Yeah.
on the side. They just clip into place instantly.
You could squeeze a bed underneath it. You could squeeze a compact bed underneath it. But we just felt like it's a great concept. It's very quick. It's small when it packs down to like a brolly, and just thought that we just probably need a bigger one. Let's for people wanting to do quick overnighters and all that kind of thing instead of a long overnight. It's just an easy product to use, hence its name. But the sort of innovation in it is you don't need the centre pole in it, so you can just pop it up. But then rather than put 2 storm poles on the sides, the storm poles are integrated into the frame. So basically what you have is the fabric is secured to the end of the storm pole. The storm pole is on a little clip which then slides up the spokes. So basically when you set it up, they kind of drop into place, and then you just slide the clip down on the storm pole and it clicks into the end feature. And then you don't need to add additional storm poles. So I know it doesn't take seconds to screw a storm pole on and stuff like that, but it's literally, you pop it up, click them into place and peg it down.
And it's also a lot of people when and I used to do the same with brollies, is if you've got a storm pole, you just slide it in inside, and what you can have with that is the point of it damaging the fabric, but that does not happen with this system because it's attached to the spoke, and you don't have like literally a point that's coming into contact with the.
I mean, I carry my brolly on my. I don't have it in the bag or anything. I put it through the gap in the chairs on my bed chair, and even like my 60-inch brolly I use now, it's a bit cumbersome to throw over your thing. But if it starts peeing down with rain when you're looking around the lake, I've got my waterproofs on and my polarised glasses on. I'm ready to rock and roll. I don't want that brolly getting covered, so I can take that out and just put it over the top so quickly and so effectively. And same as when you're setting up. You know, if you want to set up the rods and go quickly, with the Explorer barrows, you can get in underneath and get all the gear out and set up and just keep everything nice and dry. And to me, it's almost like a little workhorse.
The other week when we were doing the product photos, we had a big sort of product shoot where we had quite a lot of our guys down shooting the products, and so we each had a bivvy to sit under. Most of them were the Frontier 2s, a couple of them were the EOS Pros, and I had the Easy 60. And the first thing that I thought when I set it up and sat on my bed chair was, this takes me back to like my early years of carp fishing, like that sort of early to mid 2000s, where you sat down, you're looking out, you've got a big open front, a wide view. No ground. I mean, I think it does. Does it come with it? It does come with a lightweight ground sheet, but no ground sheet. No. Get rid of that straight away.
Yeah, he's gone.
It just felt like it really took me back, and it felt
you should
really
say
cool.
that, because that to me, and again, it's something I've said all my life. I don't want to door down on my bivvy and switch the telly on and tune into the world that I'm trying to escape from.
You are missing out when you go, honestly. The
Netflix that you could smash, Chili.
That view from my bivvy is the widescreen TV that keeps me entertained, and
Chili, you can get projectors now that plug into your phone, so you can shut your bivvy door down and project the TV off your phone onto the door. It works like as a projector screen, and you can literally have like 50, 60-inch flat screen TV in your bivvy now.
Or you can just nip round Derek the Don swim and have a bit of a rave with him, mate.
You are missing out.
What you should do that, zip it up, project it onto the wall and watch a bit of underwater carp fishing.
Yeah.
Oh, God, it just gets worse. It just gets worse with every.
Yeah, but think about it. The projector's small, your phone's small. You're not carrying a TV round with you, so if anything, it suits your sort of fishing because you're not carrying a 50-inch TV with you, which would be literally the kitchen.
It would suit me if I wanted to watch the television. And to be a good carp angler, you need to watch the water. Be that day or be it night, you need to watch the water. That will give you all the answers you want. So you don't have to blanked again. If you're not aware of your environment, then you're missing out on sort of 90% of what makes you an angler.
Or you could zip your door down.
Don't say it.
Watch Netflix.
No DDWs here, mate. No, I'm not having it.
Watch Netflix for 6 hours. Have a sleep. In the morning, find out who's had the best night, who's caught the most, set up next to them, cast as close to their spot as you can, let them do the work for you. Once the rods are out, just door back down, get that Netflix back on and finish what you started on the Friday night. Happy days.
You could binge watch like a full series, couldn't you?
Oh, God. God, oh God.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway,
So you like the easy?
The Easy
Brolly.
Brolly is a wonderful bit of kit.
What material
and
is it?
So useful.
what material is the Easy Brolly?
Slightly lighter.
8,000 hydrostatic head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely, lovely.
Oh, she's waterproof. Nail it down.
That's one for my
Everything
list.
you ever wanted.
Dean, have you got one that? Have you got
To
a
be
pick?
fair, yeah, I'm opposite to you, mate. I love using 12-foot rods. I've always been a 12-foot rod angler, and I did notice we've got some new Horizons coming out and X5s, and I saw
Blacks.
Mozza grabbed a set and ran off with them, which I was disappointed in. But he loved them. He said they were fantastic. And what's
Love
the
a
sort
big
of
black rod in your hand, Dean, don't you?
Oh, he loves it, doesn't he? He walked into that one.
Confession to put out on a podcast. Fair play to you. And we will all support you, Dean.
Thank you very
If anybody
much,
says
Lou.
anything.
Really
I
appreciate
don't want
it.
to touch it. Oh, no.
We've got your back.
So what is the story behind the X5s? How did they come about then, in terms of...
Originally, X5s were the first rod we put a K-Series guide on.
Yep.
I believe also we were the first manufacturer to put a 50mm K-Series guide on. So at the time, K-Series guides were already available to 40mm. And I was actually at the supplier, a supplier at the time, and he was like, oh, we're going to get these soon. And they were 50mm guides. So I was like, perfect. Carp rods these days, everybody wants 50mm on. So we put them on, and they've been on there for years. The X5s have been in a couple of different guises. We went from X5 to X5Ss because Fuji stopped doing black guides and black reel seats. Just suddenly stopped, no pre-warning, nothing. So we were like, oh, we're going to have to use a different colour.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep black stable. It's difficult to manufacture. So X5Ss came through and they had Gunsmoke guides and Gunsmoke reel seats. Obviously our love affair with American Tackle has grown. We've grown in confidence with our products. Those guys listen. I did actually, their Thai Forged Air guides, going back a few years, I was speaking with those guys because I wanted to produce a minima style guide in that shape. And I said something, they said something. They didn't want to commit, I didn't want to commit. But in the end, we sort of said, this is our idea. Oh, that's our idea. And so we kind of worked together and helped each other out in that respect.
Brilliant.
So we've gone more and more into the American Tackle stuff, and now they do the American Tackle Delta Light guides, which are a steel frame, not a titanium one. So they're cheaper than the titanium versions, but they're also cheaper than the Fuji ones. So what we've managed to do now is, like we've done with the X4 rods and the X3S rods, carbon price has become a little bit more competitive, and therefore we've made the X3s and the X4s cheaper, which people have had for the last year and a bit. We've taken some of that saving and we've worked with a cheaper guide. So the American Tackle guide is cheaper than the K-Series one. And now we produce the X5 blacks because American Tackle have found a way of getting black stable. So we've gone back into the black guides and the black reel seats, and we pushed that price saving back on now. So X5s used to be three.
Are they black? Are they carbon?
Yeah, the
reel
carbon
seats?
reel seats
silks,
with black
reel-
collars.
Yeah.
X5s used to be what, 380 a rod? Can't remember.
Yeah.
Now. 380, 390 a rod. But now we're at 240 to 260,
Yeah.
280
And,
a rod.
and that's with
That's
a rod that is
massive.
as good, if not better.
Yeah. No, there
That's
was...
amazing.
So, and this is
isn't it?
how this
Wow.
is what development is, and people sort of think, oh, you're just bringing out product for the sake of it, but like
Well, that's
things
what I'm
are
saying about
things
this.
are getting better.
This is
constantly,
painting
and
a
we
picture
can
for
use
people.
that.
That's what I like about this, and having Scott here to say it, it just draws a line under things. It's brilliant.
When I bought my new telly a couple of years ago, it cost me a small fortune. Within 6 months, there's a better model available, and then my model is then 75% of the cost it was 6 months ago.
Yeah.
2 years down the line, that product is nowhere near as good as what's available now.
Yeah.
And just things,
just
technology
evolution.
moves on.
Yeah,
Things
moves on.
move on.
Basically what's
Yeah.
happened there is they've produced a guide similar to the K-Series guides, but it's cheaper. We've been able to get carbon cheaper than we used to. basically the demand through COVID went up, and then they produced it, and then it slowed down again, and then there's a glut of carbon available, and we've been able to get it cheaper. Hence why the X3s and the X4Ss, we moved down the price point. You know, quite often things go up, but if we can make a better product at a cheaper price, you know, then we will do so.
That's a brilliant thing.
And that's what we've done. We passed the saving on to the consumer. Don't get me wrong, we're a business. We've still got to make money. You know,
of course,
people bleat on about carp tax and all the rest of it, but ultimately they're not shouting when they go, "Oh, well done, Fox! You've made that rod better and cheaper for me now." But it does happen, and other manufacturers do the same things. You know, we're not out to. We're a business. We're out to make money. We employ people. People have got livelihoods and jobs because of the business that's successful. We've made products now that are some products which are better than the older ones and now significantly cheaper.
But the business relies on us making good products that carp anglers use and like and enjoy, and that catch fish, and that people can you know, continue to use and get confidence in the brand and come back and buy something else.
Yeah, but X5's Black's a great example. They were $380, $390 a rod, and they're now $240, $250 a rod.
That's what I mean. It's a good
You know,
saving.
that's a massive saving.
Yeah,
massive saving.
That is huge, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's some amazing products on the. Unuki Mats was another one that I quite like the look of. That compact one that rolls up to absolutely nothing, but still has sides. So I'm a big. I like using a mat with sides. I just think they're far more safer.
The thing with all those mats that we just launched is, over the years we've had, mats are stitched, water gets into them. We tried to make them waterproof to stop the water getting in, but ultimately, when you make it waterproof, but then water gets in, it doesn't get out. So it's you got to try and stop it from getting in. But then if it does get in, you kind of screwed it. You can get out. So what we've done recently with things that we've been working on, we're making them welded. So the new mats that we're just launching are welded mats in different fabrics, which aren't cheap, but ultimately they're going to last longer because they're welded. You're not going to get water ingress. So the mats are a bit of a development as well in terms of we can use different fabrics, and they're all welded, so there's no stitching. You're not going to get water inside it. So yeah,
ideal.
A bit more progress again.
Yeah, no, it's
Put your eyes on that, Matt, hadn't you? I knew you did. You thought that'd be the perfect dog bed. That. Ain't going to see any fish laying on it, but it'll be perfect for the dog. And if old Henry has a bit of an accident and wheeze on it, it's not going to soak into the foam.
I've missed you, Lou. I really have. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic product launch, one that we're all very, very proud of. And guys, if you want to look in depth at these products, they can be found on the main Fox YouTube channel. If you want to look back at some of the products that the guys have been talking about, head over there and you can see those products in motion. Other than that, I think that covers the launch, which has been phenomenal. Yeah, no, it's really good, and it was great to be sort of getting my hands on those products early doors and seeing them firsthand, and I'm sure they're all going to do very well as people's Christmas lists grow. That's for sure. But yeah, guys, I think that sort of brings to an end this podcast. I do want to say as well, if you want to get involved in future podcasts like this one, please like and subscribe to this new channel. You've probably seen it has now got its own designated podcast channel. So please give us a like and a subscribe, and that will keep you up to date with the future ones that are on the way. Other than that, thank you ever so much for joining us again, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cheers, Dino.
Thanks, Dino.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Guys.